Hello, welcome or welcome back if you're new. My name is Ashley and this is Faithful Rattos. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is break down my rat spending for the first quarter of 2024. So that's January, February and March. I had asked you whether you wanted to see this type of video in a previous video in 2023. People said they were interested in me going through my spending and all that sort of stuff, and I decided it would be way too boring and repetitive to do it every single month. So I've decided to do it in quarters to see if that is a video that people like. So that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down my spending each month, and then I'll give you the totals for each category overall, and then the total also for the year so far. So including a little bit of April, the total for the year so far is £1,933.82. That's a lot of money. Then in vet bills, I've spent so far £655.58. In food so far, I've spent £170.74. Treats so far this year, £40.11. Cage items, which included a brand new Little Zoo Ventura, I've spent £525.29. On substrate, I've spent £99.34. On the inverts, I've spent £17.44. So this includes my stick insects, but also the isopods that I keep for cleanup crew for my bioactive cage. On shows, I've spent £134.09. On medical, so this is not vet stuff, but other like medical related things, like Sinner's just over there drinking really sillily. So this is other things like mite treatment, urine dipstick tests, things like that. £24.28, and on other I've spent £266.95. So I will go through all of the spends for January and I'll give you the totals, and I'll put like a nice fancy graphic on the screen as well. So in January, these are the spends that I made. So I purchased some soil and some cleanup crew for a substrate refresh, some white vinegar, some treats from a company called Denzils, the Rat Cam subscription, mixed ingredients from Asda, mixed ingredients from Rat Rations, and a cook ranch from Mash Rations. The train tickets, the Banbury show, Remy and Maccabee had a vet visit, and I bought a new bottle of Harcomectin. A micro USB for the Rat Cam because they chewed the old one, pumpkin seeds, the show costs for the Banbury show, Ubers on the show day, postage to Dead Set Co., which is a taxidermy company, and I'm really excited to get those boys back from that. And then the Nurse Rosette sponsorship, Remy's heart meds, some basil pots, Remy's holdover meds when they got lost in the mail, litter and bedding from Rat Rations, my NERS membership renewal, and some veg for wet food. And so for the totals in January, vet was £212.7, the food was £60 and 3 pence, treats was £11 and 38 pence, cage items I spent £6, substrate I spent £49.28, inverts £0, shows I spent £62.10, medical £12.99, and then on the other section I spent £68.73 for a total of £482 and 58 pence for the total spending in January, which I had budgeted when I did the little thing. I had budgeted a £500 for each month. So January was cool and it was exactly what I was expecting to spend. We're going to get into February now, and February was very expensive, but I will sort of preface the February spending by saying this was the month that I had like properly solidified that I was going to start setting up for my breeding program, which meant buying a new cage, so not brand new, but a new Little Zoo Ventura, and more cage items. So having two big groups, having to fill the cages and have spares, that needs a lot more cage items. So I spent a lot on that in the next 2 months of the year. So in February, this is the things that I bought. So I bought some hammocks from Pepperoo, the MRC show costs, the Rat Cam subscription, hammocks from Cozy Beds and Burrows, raffle tickets at the shows, the single Little Zoo Ventura, a black sparkly Tic Tac wheel, wet meal ingredients, bramble for the stick insects, treats from B&M, treats from Denzils, baby food, Remy's Euthanasia, base mixes in bulk buy, fish for dogs, kibble bulk buy, wing nuts, piping for like a little underground tunnel, new litter trays, wood effect duct tape, train tickets to the Preston show, which was the Nerds show, mini fireballs from Primark, Ezio's Checkup, a Rat's Tail toy bundle, my Rattery logo, supplement oils, a bale of Finicard, which sadly they stopped making Finicard, and that's really sad. A basil pot and some sardines, a domain name and website hosting, so that's an ongoing cost I've got now, is the website hosting. A triangle hanging perch and rope, that was from Rat Creations, I think. A green Tic Tac wheel, 14 inches, treats from Jollies, and Cinna and Azriel's of respiratory infection and vet visit and all that sort of stuff. So for the totals in February, at the vet I spent £186.98. On food I spent £75.49. Treats I spent £23.75. That actually went quite over budget for the treats. Cage items I spent £284.11. So like 130 of that was the cage itself. So there's that. On the inverts I spent £11.95. On the show I spent £54.99. 0 on medical and £60.64 on other, for a grand total of £722.43. So this did go over budget by quite a bit, and I was kind of expecting, with Remy's sort of emergency euthanasia and the cage, I was expecting it to be, but it really was. And I also bulk bought huge sacks of base mix and dog food in February, and I've not had to rebuy them, and they were quite expensive because the thing itself was expensive and the shipping was expensive too. But I think buying my food this way, bulk buying it, will actually save me a lot of money in the long run. So I'm excited to see if that does work out, because I was spending like £60 on mixed ingredients a month, and I think doing it this way I'm going to save myself a bit of money. So in March, this is what I bought. So the list is much smaller. So in March I bought cat food pouches and a basil pot. I got my Remy Memorial for Solstice Minis, Aldrin's UTI vet visit, urine test sticks because I ran out, white vinegar, herbs for wet food, another basil pot, the top section of the Little Zoo Ventura, some assorted cage accessories I bought from the rescue with the cage, my MRC membership renewal, the bug water balls for my isopods because we're going on a trip, cage accessories from Jollies, Azriel's antibiotics refill because he still was going with the respiratory infection, website hosting, herb mixes, so the dried herb mixes for food, plain pound grids to block off the does in the books when they're on free roam, basil pots, and a rat accessories order. So the totals for March were actually pretty low considering everything. So on vet, I spent £83.79. On food, I spent £14.51, and most of this was fresh food actually. Treats, I spent £0. Good on you. You don't need to be buying treats every single month. You really don't. Cage items, £194.23. £0 on substrate. That's why I love being bioactive. Like, I don't have to buy substrate that often. Inverts, £5.49. Shows, 0. I didn't go to any shows in March. Or if I did, no, I don't think I went to a show in March. No, I didn't. Medical, £8.29, and on other, £77.58, for a grand total of £383.89. That was a cheap month considering. And yeah, I'm gonna, as the video goes along, I will have put up the little pie charts that reflect each month, and I'll show you the graphics for the year so far. I find these really interesting, so I'm going to put them on the screen now. So yeah, that's all that I spent all this month. I have put some nice graphics in my Instagram highlights if you want to go look there. I post them every month if you want to be a bit nosy. I hope you like this video, and tell me in the comments, did I spend more or less than you expected? Alright, I'll see you in the next video, and yeah, bye.